Well, this is a little bit interesting. I went ahead and put this all back together again and ran into a problem. It appears that these mounts were upside down when I took it out, and so I put them in the same way I found them, and they were wrong to begin with. So, zoom in a little bit here. This is wrong. So I'm going to try and carefully pop this little bugger out. So I know it isn't terribly easy to see what I'm doing here. So what was happening is this distance here was too great. It was keeping the motor, this part, which I'm just going to call the spindle, up too high. And when this is too high, this device doesn't work right, and the top of this was rubbing on the metal plate that goes above it. So instead what I need to do is flip these little guys over. I already put one in here. I'm going to try and give you a view of how I'm doing this, but it's pretty difficult to show. I'm pushing, this has a grooved edge, and I'm pushing that grooved edge, the metal, right into that groove. And then I'm just sort of forcing the rest of this into place. So it looks alright on the top. Let's see, on the bottom, it actually looks okay. Last time I kind of had to go around and adjust it. Ooh, just got a little shock from something. Forgot my little guy was plugged in here. Alright, let's try this again. Give you a little bit better view. So of course I don't bother to unplug it. Let's unplug it before we go any further. There we go. Now we're talking safety. Doesn't want to go in as easily as the others. There we go. As parts of this slide into place, the rest of it falls into place much easier. Now here's a good example. This isn't. See how this one isn't pure circle? If you just kind of pop up on the edges, everything falls into place. Okay, so we're going to try a rebuild now. And yeah, this is now, I want to say, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch lower. And I think that was the missing piece. This also makes a lot more sense too. The reason we have a washer on this end didn't make as much sense before, because there's a metal part already there. Just because you found it a certain way doesn't mean that was the right way. That looks better. Hopefully that'll fix it. I'm going to go ahead and walk us through putting this back together again. So we now have the engine remounted to the metal frame, I guess I'll call it. The wood's looking pretty good today. After treating it yesterday, I'm going to put these little guys up. The wood also just feels much nicer after being treated with the feed and wax. So I will need to come back in here at some point to fix the tone arm. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Now I'm just going to get things in place. Screws. So I really like to replace these with Phillips heads or something. Never sure if that kind of thing would damage the quote authenticity, probably, so just leave it alone. But I really hate flatheads. One of the things I'm looking at here, you can see, you probably can't see this. I'll give you a close-up shot, but basically this plate is going to need to fit right on top here. So when this motor spins, oh nice, it spins, but it doesn't scrape the bottom of the plate. And you can see where this previously had been scraping. And I think that's because the previous owner put these mounts in upside down, ran it scraped this circle, and then they sort of jerry-rigged it to the way they thought it was supposed to work. Okay, now I'm going to put the platter on. But first I need to do the belt. I'm not really sure how easy that is to see. Just sort of pull it around. Make sure it's flat all the way around. I'm going to pinch the belt out. Uh-oh. Damn it. Alright, so knew this was going to happen eventually. There is a tiny little ball bearing that goes here and in here, and it's not in there. You can hear that horrible noise. So that means the ball bearing dropped out somewhere, probably just now when I turned this sideways. And that really sucks. Went ahead and found our ball bearing. And this is spinning very nicely. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Now this seemed to happen before, where it ran very slowly and then all of a sudden it sort of caught. No, maybe maybe I don't have the right size belt. Our switch appears to be moving properly. But yeah. So once it gets going, it seems to be working okay. This is a fine-tune adjustment, which I can't really hear anything on. Maybe if we were listening, we could check. There's apparently an app you can use to check RPMs, so we may try that in the future. For now, I'm just going to put this guy back together again. While I plan for the next. Well, that's good. I don't hear any noise this time. But I'm going to just sort of put everything away while I plan for my next move, which is going to be fixing the tone arm and yeah, and maybe giving the metal a better clean off. I'm tempted not to put everything back together again, just because I hate putting in the screws over and over. I always worry that I'm going to do some sort of damage to them. Yeah, so the distance that I have here under the rim is substantially more than the distance I have over here. Like quarter inch or more difference between the two. So that's not right. And we'll just chalk that up as another issue that needs to be worked on. Sure which end of these is up. So let's see, things that still need to be fixed. Tone arm, and I've rotated it, so I need to find out a way to make sure that's level. I've got gap distance here, which suggests that this side needs to be higher, or this side needs to be, no, this side needs to be higher, or this side needs to be lower. And what else? I need to make sure the ball bearing is the proper size, and then I need to make sure that everything is flat and level. Probably want to go ahead and replace these RCA cables as long as I'm doing the internal tone arm wiring. But that's going to be a whole little project. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it is necessary for this tone arm to be working properly, because one of the 4 connectors in here is snapped off. So it almost seems like I should just redo all the wiring at once. All right.